Hello, and welcome to Flix and a Six. I'm one of your hosts, Shmanthony Shmostanzo. With me, forever and always, the man, the myth, the legend, Alessandro Bielsi.
Oh, thanks, man.
Say hello, Al.
Oh, hello, Al.
The main topic for this week's episode is going to be legend. But first, Al, what are we drinking?
We are drinking something that maybe will end up being near and dear to your heart, because it is Cricket Hill Brewery's Jersey Summer Breakfast Ale. This is a New Jersey craft beer.
Hey, I'm in.
It's from Fairfield, New Jersey, which I'm not really sure where that is. Is that near you?
Oh, okay. I think that's like 50 minutes. I think that's also where, what the hell is it? Keep going. I'm gonna find the other one. The one that I really like. Not to say this is bad. I haven't tried it yet, but.
Wait, did you say this is 15 minutes from you?
50.
50. Okay.
I believe.
Yeah. So.
Magnify Brewing is what I'm thinking of.
Wait, seriously? After all of that?
That's also
after all
in Fairfield, New Jersey.
You're making noise on the recording. For that.
I love it. So Al's very upset right now.
It's been destroyed. Just come over and come do it now. You're already here.
Come say hi, Dominic.
Say hi, Dominic.
Hi, Dominic.
You two aren't
I'm glad that we both did that same thing.
He's going to fit right in. The peanut gallery has returned for this episode.
For those of you in the back of the audience. So anyway, Cricket Hill Brewery, Jersey Summer Breakfast Ale. It's brewed with the best quality malts and fermented with a traditional Belgian yeast that imparts a tangy fruit and clove taste. This ale is at home with bacon and eggs as it is with your backyard barbecue. The Abbey monks would love this beer.
Why?
Because it's using a Belgian yeast in the style of Belgian Trappist beers.
It smells delightful.
You can smell it. We also have a very long note from the brewers. Curious beer drinkers are stepping out from under the mind-numbing barrage of large brewery advertising and deciding for themselves what beers they enjoy. Cricket Hill designs its beers for the selective, independent beer enthusiasts. Craft microbreweries produce some of the best beers in the world. Fresh ingredients, natural flavors, and distinguishing characteristics provide distinct beer personalities reflective of their brewers and their visions. We believe that brewing is an old-world craft. Great beers have always been made with the finest grains like barley and wheat, and Cricket Hill continues that tradition today. You'll not find rice, corn, or any other filler grains in our world-class lagers and ales.
Filler grain.
We encourage you... What?
I'm just taking notes of things to call you.
Okay, so I'm going to end up... Oh, you're going to call me the world-class lager?
I was thinking more along the lines of filler grain.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
All right.
Sorry, we encourage you to take the time to taste different craft brewed beers. Embrace and enjoy the craftsmanship and dedication that goes into these exquisite beers. If you want to call me the exquisite beer, I'm okay with that too. We're certain that this road
to do that.
Well, considering you called me the wild yeast, yeah, not surprising.
We're
certain that this road take you on a wonderful adventure into the world of microbrews. Bottoms up.
Bottoms up. Cheers, mate. Oh yeah, I can get behind that.
Oh yeah, very tasty.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy with that. Before you get into describing that flavor at all, I just gotta back onto the original label breakdown that we used to do, because you were bringing me these beers that just have these beautiful this beautiful artwork on them. This little cricket on the front is fantastic. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
their logo is awesome. I love it.
No, I like the logo. At first, it's funny because I thought you were going to say, with all the fun artwork and some of the other beers, that this one's actually pretty plain, but the logo itself is pretty cool.
Yeah, I've got like a Lion King vibe going on in the background.
Yeah, and it's on top of the cap too, which I know you like.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I would have to keep. I think I might save this cap. Well, I'm a fan.
It's a kind of a cool little. It's almost like a less is more type of thing. I like it.
Yeah, it's very subtle. I dig it. So this beer is tasty. Belgian flavor is hit or miss with me. This one's working.
Well, we've had a couple of these in recent vintage now. We had the Two Roads last episode. And this is actually kind of similar in that it doesn't let the fruity esters of those Belgian beers go wild, where like you would get like a warmer temperature. This one isn't as dry as that Saison, but it's still trending in that direction. It's a little...
I can see that.
It's a little darker. You can taste a little bit more of the malt to it.
I appreciate this one. What makes a breakfast beer?
I've kind of always wondered that myself. I think it's typically just that it's a very, very, like, balanced, sessionable type of beer, that it's not going to overwhelm you. It's not going to taste super boozy. It's not going to be hoppy.
Okay.
And without studying it with the beer certification guide, I don't know what specifically qualifies these as a breakfast ale. That's something that's always eluded me.
You're gonna have to get on that. You're gonna have to make us one.
I can look into that. Right now, I am studying up with, hopefully with the help of friend of the podcast, Josh Vincenzo. Oh, sorry, it's not Josh Vincenzo. That's how he goes on some of his stuff. It's Josh Arcaro, actually.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me there was another Josh. I was like, how many? I don't know another Josh. I don't know Josh.
I know.
You got two?
I know a few Anthonys. I know some Kevins. I know a bunch of Michaels.
Everybody knows a bunch of Michaels. If you don't know a bunch of Michaels, you're living under a rock. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Or in, like, Egypt or something. Maybe mainland China.
There's definitely some Michaels floating around.
So me and Josh are, since he is a world-renowned chef, or at least New York-renowned chef. Love you, Josh.
Blowing him up. This is great.
He's gonna help me make a pumpkin beer for this fall.
Yes.
But brief aside, can we bring back the famed Costanzo pumpkin beer sampling?
Okay, we can definitely bring that back, but I can't take credit for it. That is a Michael Warren joint.
Well, I don't care whether Michael Warren came up with it. We did it at your apartment.
It was our apartment. I lived with it.
I went there for you. Michael didn't invite me. You did.
It's messed up, man.
It was mostly your friends.
It was our friends. We're all friends. Give them credit. There would have been no pumpkin beer if it was not for Michael Warren.
Okay. So the Warren Costanzo pumpkin. Well, the thing is, he's not going to be a co-host of it this year. I assume you would invite him, but
I'll get him involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
The point is, last year when we talked about doing it, we started talking about it in like October, and it's the beginning of September, so we have more time to start collecting.
Oh yeah, it's not like there's anything going on in October.
Well, we did it in November, so fuck you.
We'll do it. We'll broadcast live.
And
just a really trashed. You know what movie I like? That's it.
Yeah, that'd be great. Just have the whole party, and then you and me barely conscious and wasted.
Once everybody's like
drinking 37 pumpkin beers.
Yeah, once everybody's about 12 pumpkin beers in, we'll just go around and like interview style and ask people about their favorite movies.
That's actually
we'll make a special episode.
Idea. That's not a terrible idea if we could do it like in investigative journalism type of thing.
Oh yes.
So anyway, we're designing a pumpkin beer. We are in the very early stages of that, by which I mean I sent him info on how to prepare the pumpkin. I'm looking at styles, and I'm about to start crafting the actual recipe.
How does one prepare the pumpkin? What do you have to do?
Well, much in the same way that you would prepare, like, peppers to be, like, roasted red peppers.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You, like, hollow out the pumpkin. You have to get baking pumpkin, which apparently there's different types of pumpkins.
Huh. What's a baking pumpkin look like?
Well, it's not so much what they look like as that it has more like fruit flesh in the middle and less hollow and seeds in the middle, like a carving pumpkin.
Okay. All right.
But yes, as I was reading it, I experienced it much the same way that Scott Pilgrim experienced tea for the first time. In which I said, there's more than one kind.
And then somebody read them all off and you said, what do I do?
Yeah. For those of you who listened to our previous episode,
That one's for you. That one's for you.
And apparently people keep tuning in for the first time to our Dark Knight episode.
Yeah, so people are digging the Dark Knight episode.
The first time you were hearing us, go check out that episode. It's one of our better ones, and apparently the audiences agree.
I get notifications multiple times a week about that one.
I always wonder about that because I can see our downloads on SoundCloud, but I know you get more information than I do. So
I get emails when people enjoy our stuff.
Really, I haven't seen any of that stuff. Thanks for letting me know.
You're welcome.
So anyway, I'm thinking about fuck you. You know what? The audience is coming in. They're coming into the bedroom to see the fight because you're the worst.
Wait, why is the audience coming into the bed? I don't get that. What are you talking about?
You never heard that? What happens behind closed doors? It's usually it can be a sexual thing or it can be a fighting thing, and letting them into the bedroom, couple thing, that's a whole thing.
Okay, I don't think I've ever heard that used. I had a feel I knew where you were going, but I don't think I've ever heard that used.
Yeah, I've heard it that way a couple times. Or maybe I just made it up. You'll never know.
You're the worst.
The what? With an O or with a U?
That was with a W.
Nah, I figured. No, bad.
I wanted to see what you would say.
It definitely was not. I mean, this was with two W's or...
Who's to say?
So anyway, I'm thinking about doing my pumpkin beer. Miraculously, I remembered what I was actually saying before all that.
Good on you, because I lost it.
Yeah, I almost did. It was fluttering, and it was about to go out the window, and it
just trails off.
I reached my hand out and I caught it before it made it out the window on the highway. Pumpkin porter, I think I'm gonna do.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Right? It sounds adventurous. I feel like most pumpkin beers are not porters, so I want to do something different.
When is this going to be ready?
The idea is to have it ready prior to Halloween, so I still have a couple weeks to formulate and kick it off.
That's fair.
The very first all-grain ales, the English Special Bitter, will be ready to drink in a few days, hopefully.
Beautiful.
I don't know if it's going to be any good or not. It might be fucking awful. So, that's something that I have to look forward to in the next couple of days.
Set that bar high.
Dread/anticipation. We have reading material for dealing with anticipation. I do not have material for dealing with dread.
You should definitely do a follow-up on that. That would be great.
I'm trying to think of what the veiled subject matter that is ultimately revealed for that would be. Like the way that Star Wars Episode 8 for anticipation. Because the movies and things that I've been dreading like that, I just actively avoid. Right. So,
is that step one? I mean, you're gonna give us a list, aren't you? How to deal with dread? Don't.
Step one: fuck off and do anything else.
Awesome. So the pressure's on then to have the beer tasting because there is going to be your pumpkin beer making an appearance.
That is the plan as of right now, and there is no reason that that should not be a achievable goal.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to it.
You know what else I'm looking forward to / anticipating is the fact that I looked down at my calendar today and said, "Oh, Anthony's getting married in precisely 1 month."
Damn straight.
And I had not sent out my RSVP yet, so that's in the mail today.
A lot of the key players haven't, which is concerning.
It's in the mail today, so you're not getting it by the time you're supposed to, but you will be getting it by Monday.
All right, that's fair. How slow is the mail where you are?
Well, but I put it in after mail collection hours today.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
So,
I gotcha.
I also booked my hotel room today, at 4:30. Yes. So,
it's going to be a bash.
Yeah. And we also have your bachelor party in a couple weeks.
It's happening.
Precisely 2 weeks from now.
Yeah. It's going to be great.
So I'm pretty excited for all that.
Stoked. I'm psyched. Let's go shoot some birds.
Are we going to do that? Are we going to do shooting?
That's just a Wedding Crashers reference. I have no interest in shooting birds.
Yeah, I know. Well, because they have a shooting range.
Yeah, I don't think that should be there with all of us drinking heavily.
Well, I think we had to like pre-sign waivers and stuff like that, so we're probably not going to do that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because, like you said, we're going to be drunk assholes probably. But it would have been kind of perfect for all that. For Alex's bachelor party, we went and threw axes, so why couldn't we shoot guns for yours? I've done that.
Well, I didn't. Did I throw one? I didn't throw one because I didn't feel like paying to throw them. Here's why. It was like $45 a person to throw an axe, and I was like,
like just one axe?
No, I mean as many as you can for the next 40 minutes or however long it was.
Yeah, it's basically what we did. It was kind of badass.
Yeah. I was more concerned. So we were with a group of people. They were fine. I was more concerned with the people around us that were like these are the guys that like shoot up a school. That's what they looked like. I don't know how else to go about this. they like my eyes were on them the whole time because I'm like, I gotta make sure none of these axes come over here. So I didn't want to. I wouldn't do that again.
No, we had to worry about just a couple of our own guys being jackasses, friendly fire and such.
Friendly fire.
Well, friendly axing. I mean, I don't know what you want me to call it.
Where are you throwing the axe?
Well, no, because like the way it was is it was like there was like 2 targets per like bay.
Yeah,
and it was walled off by like fencing, so that like there was like 3 bays with 2 targets each. So we had 2 of the bays. So you would be standing next to someone else also throwing an axe.
Where was this?
Montreal.
Oh. This was when I went. It was called Stumpy's Hatchet House.
Ours was called Rage.
Oh, God.
Yeah. It was like Rage, like, colon, like, axe throwing or something like that.
Of course it was.
And, like, there was a couple times where one guy on one target was going to grab their axes and the other guy was supposed to be waiting and they weren't. So, like, it wasn't like they were going to get hit on the fly by an axe, but the thing is, if they mistimed the throw and it was out of phase in its rotation, it would hit by, like, the handle or, like, the head of the axe and bounce off the target.
Yeah, which is fairly common.
1 or 2 of them came very close to hitting people.
Good God. All right, so you're saying that this might be our last episode. Is that what you're saying? I got it.
No, because we didn't sign the shit, which means they're not going to give us the guns.
I can see that being more of a reason that this would be the last episode.
Well, I imagine they'll lock the guns up. They're not just going to leave them out casually.
They were just there when we got there.
There was just a sign that said, "Please don't touch."
Yeah, that'll work. Paranoia is your friend. All right, let's get into some stuff here. We got some news things to go over. I'm gonna let you. News.
So again, getting into
there's our new sound effect.
Getting into some of the behind the scenes stuff here. We were supposed to be recording this episode a couple days ago, in which case this news was still breaking. And that's the news that Colin Trevorrow has exited as director of Star Wars Episode 9. For those of you who don't know who Colin Trevorrow is, he directed Jurassic World, and he also directed a movie that came out a couple months ago that is considered one of the worst movies that's been made in the last few years. They've not said anything about that in any
what movie? What are you talking
about? It was something with the name Henry in it. It was like Universal.
Oh, you don't like know it?
No, it just came out like 2 months ago.
Okay.
And it was like absolutely excoriated. Let's see, what was it called? The Book of Henry.
The Book of Henry.
It came out in June. It had Naomi Watts, a bunch of people I've never heard of, Silver Saruman. Oh, it's because they were Silver Saruman. Wow, how did you not catch me on that one? Sarah Silverman.
I thought there was just some person I never heard of.
There's 2 kids who I've never heard of. Dean Norris from Breaking Bad. Lee Pace from *Halt and Catch Fire*. Slash the Hobbit movies / Guardians of the Galaxy.
Wait.
He was Thranduil in the Hobbit movies, and he was Ronan.
Think I'm going to remember names?
The Elven King in the Hobbit movies.
Okay.
And Ronan the Accuser in Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one.
Cool.
This movie was with instructions from her genius son's carefully crafted notebook. A single mother sets out to rescue a young girl from the hands of her abusive stepfather. On IMDb, it received a 5.7 rating.
That doesn't sound so bad, considering.
Metascore from Metacritic is a 31.
All right.
I don't know what the Rotten Tomatoes was.
Now we're getting in the weeds. So not received well. Is this why he was cast aside?
Well, so they definitely didn't say that. In the press release, what I'm reading from is the original article, which broke the news on The Wrap by it was co-done by Beatrice Verhoeven and Humberto Gonzalez, who I have been a fan of for a couple years. He's done a really good job in mostly superhero stuff, but also Star Wars, a couple other things as well. Okay. Lucasfilm and Colin Trevorrow have mutually chosen to part ways on Star Wars Episode 9, Disney said in a statement. Colin's been a wonderful collaborator throughout the development process, but we have all come to the conclusion that our visions for the project differ. We wish Colin the best, and we'll be sharing more information about the film soon. Now, when the Book of Henry came out and just got completely lambasted, there was speculation then, like, is this going to panic Lucasfilm and Disney? But that was, 2 months ago.
You know, the main person in charge of hiring him saw the movie and was just like, fuck.
Well, it's funny because most people seemed to like Jurassic World. I enjoyed the movie. It wasn't a great movie.
I had a great time with that movie.
It was fun. It wasn't a great movie per se. So that was what he really got hired based off of. But the Book of Henry was a critical and commercial flop, as this article put it. So there's been some speculation that they feared that movie and what happened to it.
Well, that's all right. I mean,
that was the reason for his exit.
8's not out yet, so we got some time. We're just firing directors left and right.
No, the timeline of this firing is way more manageable than the firings of Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That movie was already fully being shot. They've only just started to making Episode 9, I believe.
Yeah.
I know that he had Rian Johnson shoot at least one scene for him for Episode 9.
Okay.
I know they said that a couple months ago.
Oh, we got like 2.5 years before that comes out?
Probably.
They got time to get it right. It'll be fine. I don't have any strong feelings towards this. I don't really care, to be honest with you.
Oh, I don't have any strong feelings. I just think it's noteworthy.
Oh yeah, noteworthy, sure, but it's so early on. I feel like the way they do things, it'll be fine. I'm not concerned. I'm also like, if you're looking at not to say this guy's hasn't done anything great. I mean, I really did enjoy Jurassic World, but I would have never guessed. Oh, the director that made Jurassic World, he's going to do a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, no. Oh, that was kind of, I think, when they announced he was going to be hired, was a lot of people's reaction to that. So.
And someone in the background went, "Hey, it's that one guy."
Yeah, hey, it's that one guy. You know what's funny? Weird aside, and I do kind of want to come up and wrap up that topic first, but that Culkin I just saw in something the other day, which it's not the first time I've seen the movie, but I forgot that he was in it. Cider House Rules?
No.
You don't know the movie? Or?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh, okay.
It was, just no. Take from that what you will.
Yeah, it was a year or two before the first Spider-Man movie. So it was younger Tobey Maguire.
Oh, was he crying in that movie too?
No, he was pretty stoic in that movie, actually.
All right.
That's actually kind of a defining characteristic of him in that movie. It was him, young Charlize Theron, young Paul Rudd, younger Michael Caine.
Delroy Lindo.
Delroy Lindo, yes.
Yeah. Woo! Love that guy.
He plays a real jerk. Bad dude.
He's a bad dude.
No, he is. For anyone who hasn't seen that movie, we're fully covered under spoilers here. I will not go into it, but he's a bad dude.
I went silent there for a minute because all I could think about was him in Gone in 60 Seconds, and then how you don't like that movie, and how I was severely disappointed.
Forgot he was even in that movie.
Just made me sad. Just made me real sad.
I think of him, assuming that I've got the right guy, which I'm pretty sure I do, from Ransom.
Wow, that's a throwback.
Yep.
Damn. Ransom was great.
Great cast, too.
Yeah, he was definitely in that.
Yeah, I thought that was him. He's the FBI agent.
Yeah.
That has a great
Agent
cast.
Lonnie Hawkins.
What's his name?
Lonnie Hawkins.
Yeah, that sounds right. That has a great cast, and a lot of people who weren't famous yet, or were just getting famous.
Yeah, I remember that movie just being intense watching that.
It was a very intense movie.
A solid flick. We should go back to some of those movies. Tear those down.
Old throwback movies?
I mean, that's not... It depends on who you talk to. That wouldn't necessarily be old. It's old in relation to our ages.
Well, but I mean, the oldest movie that we've done so far is 10 years ago, and that's 20 years ago.
That's fair. Well, no, we did Star Wars.
That's true, I guess. But that was different.
Lawyered.
So anyway,
cool.
You want to get into Legend?
Before we do that, I have a question for you. How do you feel about horror movies?
Why do you want to go watch it?
I really, really do. I also like my sleep, though. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm that when at the end of the night when there's nothing else making noise and I'm trying to go to sleep. If I've just watched a horror movie, there's no sleep. There's just horrible thoughts.
The funny thing is so I'm not a huge horror movie fan. I like suspense thriller type movies, but outright horror, I'm not usually a huge fan of.
That's fair.
Not I can't watch them. Part of it's because usually they're not very good.
Yeah.
That I don't bother springing for giving up my time to watch that. Though the times that I often see those movies are right before I go to bed.
Yeah, bad decisions. I don't know why I do that.
And I usually mostly don't do it on purpose, but somehow I keep doing it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to sit down and watch this movie. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's over. It's 3 at night. What happened?
Recently, this was maybe a month or two ago, I was watching, I threw something on that was on my DVR, and when the movie was over, I turned off the recording, and whatever channel was on, underneath it, came on. Mm-hmm. And it was this movie called Morgan. I don't know if you remember that movie. Came out maybe a year or so ago.
That's Schwarzenegger?
No. It's Kate Mara. What?
What am I thinking of? Maggie. I'm thinking of Maggie.
The one with the zombie daughter?
Yeah.
No, this was Kate Mara and Rose Leslie and a few other people.
Morgan, it was called?
Yes. And it was kind of an Ex Machina type of thing, but more the kind of horror thriller element.
Okay.
And I don't know why I watched because it was probably 20 or 30 minutes into the movie, maybe. And, Paul Giamatti was randomly in it, too. I forgot about because he's only in it for a little bit.
He's a creepy dude.
Yeah, he played a good role. He really made creepy. He made the most of his screen time in that movie.
Okay.
And Toby Jones, I think, was in it too. He's always creepy too.
Toby Jones, who's that? That sounds familiar.
You know him, even if you can't picture him right now. He was in Atomic Blonde. He was one of the the British bosses. He was in Captain America.
That guy.
He always
I just looked him up. I would never know that guy by name. But yeah, weird shaped head guy.
Yeah. Well, I've seen him in like 15 things now, so I've just learned his name at this point.
Nice. Well, that's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, so I watched that movie from like 20 or 30 minutes in. I think the reason I bothered to watch it is because like I was like, oh, I'm gonna go upstairs to bed in like 5 or 10 minutes. Like I was like,
I'm sorry. Hold on. I looked him up. He played Dobby the house elf in Harry Potter.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
How did I not know that?
Whew, that's great. Anyway, go on.
I should have known that.
That's awesome. What a find.
Yeah. That's weird that I didn't know that. Okay. Sorry, I was a little shocked by that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, like I think I was like, I had like a text, and I was like answering this text. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be here for 5 minutes. I won't bother changing the channel or turning off the TV. Like I'll just turn it all off at once. And then I watched the final 2/3 of the movie.
Nice.
And it's like one of those creepy if an AI was real type of movie. You know what I mean? Where like it's trying to fit in, and the scientists are way too engrossed in their project, and this and that, and it's like. Not out and out horror per se, but it's like you don't want to be mixed up in those events.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to think about this thing being real right now. You don't need to watch that grisly, gruesome death right before you go to sleep.
Yeah.
And yeah, I saw it all, and I was like, okay, that was a bad choice.
I don't know that a movie like that would get me. For me, the ones that really creep me out are like even the mass murderer people movies, like those things don't creep me out. It's like it's the supernatural stuff and like the just things that you like don't have any sort of explanation that are very creepy to me, and then those are the ones that get me thinking. It's like then when you hear a creak, you're like, yep, they're coming to get me.
Well, for me, it's the whether or not it's supernatural. It's the the person who is not suspecting anything bad is going to happen, and then they walk into their room, and there's the guy in a pig mask, a la Saw, right behind the door, and then you get that pressing, like, down on you music or horrible rapey type of things that happen to you, / murdery / choking type of things, and it's like, that's what gets me. Yeah. So it's like, oh, I'm tired, my reflexes aren't where they need to be. The house is really quiet.
Your defense right now is, stop.
Yeah. And I'm walking up the stairs, and, oh, I didn't see that small box sitting right around the corner, and I tripped over it, and oh my god, I'm being murdered. Nope, right. Okay, I just tripped over that box. Right. Great.
You died of a heart attack.
Yeah, no, literally. That's not a joke. Like, my heart will race for the next 10 minutes. It's like, oh, I guess I'll just go to sleep an hour from now. That's fine.
Right. Yeah, no, I get that. There's this movie, though, I'm very interested by it because from the things that I've been reading and the reviews that I've been hearing, I really want to check out the performance of these kids. It sounds like they did a really great job.
And the tracking numbers and everything. It's if you really want to see it, I'll watch it. This isn't really my thing, but I'll see it if you want to.
Do you want to see it together? I will hold your hand.
I don't want to hold your hand, man.
Oh.
I love you, and
I think we should check it out.
I'm looking forward to our next opportunity to have an in-person recording.
Yes. Yes.
But I don't want to hold your hand in this movie, no.
Yeah, I don't. You know, it's funny. Like, I want to see this. I'm like, think these kids are going to be great in it. And then the flip side of that is kids can be fucking terrifying in horror movies.
I mean, that first trailer with the kids screaming, "I want to float," was pretty horrifying.
You'll float too! Good God, yes. Shut up! Yeah, it's scary. I think we should check it out. I think it would be interesting to break down a horror movie. I've seen a handful. I've seen a decent amount of horror movies, I feel like, but I've only ever liked a few of them. The Conjuring I will never watch again, not because it wasn't good. It was awesome, but it was terrifying. I'll never watch that again. The first Halloween reboot that Rob Zombie did, really enjoyed that. The second one, the sequel to his reboot, worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
Wow. Yeah, I don't remember the last outright horror movie I saw.
Right. This will be it.
Like,
we'll put it
meaning
on the map.
Meaning like a new release. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I think we should check it out. Let's see what this is all about.
Like, it was probably Saw 6.
Oh, you stopped there too?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't see that last one, and now there's another one coming out, so I don't feel so bad about it.
Yeah, well, so it's funny because I saw the first one, and that is a genuinely good movie.
Oh, yeah, the first one's great.
And I like the second one, too.
I can't remember what happened in this. Oh, is that with the house?
Yes, where they're all in the house.
That one was good. And spoiler, kid in the safe, is that?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
But that movie came out 15 years ago, so...
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, you're not going to, I'm guessing.
The third one, I think I saw, like, when it first made it to HBO or whatever. And then that was the last one I kept up with. And then I remember when I was, like, a freshman in college, like, one of my, like, suite mates was, like, a huge fan of the Saw movies and wanted to see, I think it was the fifth or the sixth one. I think it was the sixth one was coming out while we were in school. And I was like, well, I saw the first three. Like, no one else wanted to go. And I was like, well, I like the first three, but the third one kind of went off the rails a bit for me, so... And he's like, no, you have to watch the fourth and the fifth. Like, just watch them. Like, if we can get them, like, cheap or whatever, like, just watch them. And if, like, you're into it, like, let's go see the sixth one. Like, I was like, all right, fine. So we got one other friend who was on board to go with us. And we just happened to be at Walmart and saw it. And there was a pack of the first 5 for, like, $18. We're like, it's basically a no-brainer. So right. We watched the fourth and the fifth one. And I was like, I actually got re-interested in once I realized how they expanded the story so much. The connected story is actually really good.
Yeah, that's the intricacy, like, of everything is what's awesome about that, because there's something to figure out. I love that aspect because that kept my mind running the entire time, like, what's actually going on and trying to figure out, the puzzle for yourself. I love that because I love a movie like that.
Yeah, I thought it was stupid at the time, like, as I was watching the third, but once I'd seen the first 5, I was like, okay, you know what? This has created this genuinely interesting web of stuff. Like, I'm back on board. And so we saw the sixth one, like, it was fine or whatever. And I meant to see the seventh one, which was supposed to be the final one. And I never ended up getting around to seeing it.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. But now there's another one coming out, so whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. So if you want to watch it, I guess I'll drag myself to the theater soon. I'll see if I can find someone to go with me.
Okay. Well, I mean, I also don't have a rush on this one.
Sure.
But it does seem like one that we could, maybe October, Halloween beer.
I mean, it's definitely
pumpkin beer,
too,
not a Halloween beer. That's not how that works. Halloween time. But yeah, all right, cool. So look forward to that. We'll check out a horror movie at some point. So let's get into Legend.
Sure.
Overall, you know what? Let's go to the IMDb. This is actually another funny thing because this trails right along the end of that horror movie combo. The plot on IMDb: identical twin gangsters Ronald and Reginald Cray terrorized London during the 1960s. That makes it sound like a horror movie? I would watch that movie. It sounds interesting.
I mean,
just twins screwing with you the whole time.
Yeah, if you had done that sort of thing where it was like basically like 2 Jack the Rippers walking the streets together in tandem,
that'd be interesting. The movie was good.
Yeah, solid movie.
It's not like incredible. It doesn't like set itself apart from like movies like where it's like, oh, like this is like the quintessential gangster movie or anything like that. But it's a good gangster flick.
Yeah, good solid movie.
It's well done. There's a couple of with anything, there's a few gripes that I have with it, but overall I enjoyed it, and it flew under the radar. Like this movie came out.
I remember there being a lot of hype for not so much the movie as the experience of the dual Tom Hardys, or as I put in my notes, A Tale of Two Hardys. But there wasn't very much hype, or did I hear much conversation for the actual movie itself once it had come out.
Yeah, I remember like when it was coming out. I do remember seeing a trailer, and then
like a lot,
and then for like a few, like when I saw a couple of movies, I saw the trailer was consistently there, and then I don't remember it actually coming out, and then it was gone, and I never heard of it again.
Yeah, I experienced it kind of the same way. Where I don't even think it was trailers. I think it was like actually commercials on TV for like a couple of weeks, and then once it came out, like I never I think I like one day I was like, I wonder whatever happened with that Tom Hardy movie.
Yeah.
And, like, looked it up and was like, it got kind of just middling reviews.
Yeah. Which, hey, I'm still down to see that. I'm cool with that. I like a good dramatization of a story like based on something that actually happened. Those could be fun to watch.
Yeah. Although we kind of got the best of Tom Hardy and the worst of Tom Hardy.
Oh my god! Glad you went there.
Well, because I know it's been your big pet peeve, and at first I didn't think much of it, but then as time has gone on, I've kind of come to your side on this, where like they keep casting Tom Hardy to mumble at us, and I don't know why. Because
what is the deal with that?
When he's playing Ronnie, and he's actually, I mean, it's obviously like not his normal voice, but like it's a functional voice. Really, really good. Yeah. And he's annoying as Reggie, or the other way around. I forget.
No, Reggie's the voice that you can... Reggie's the good one.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Ronnie's the bad one.
I had them backward the first then. So I'm like, why do that? And I guess we're talking about this as a real-life person, so maybe he really was awkward like that, and he was certainly a man with his problems. And I will say, as we get into it a little bit later... kind of the twist in their characters ended up surprising me a fair amount as we got on towards the end of the movie. But, yeah, I just don't get why... I'm fully with you on this now. I don't get why they keep making him do voices you can't understand.
It's very frustrating, and it bothers me mostly because he's a good actor.
Yeah. Like, well, this movie like really drives it home because you see both instances of it on screen.
Yeah. Like, He's very good at being like this kind of daunting presence, which you get with the Ronald character, the one that we can't stand his voice, because this guy's a psycho, and he seems gigantic. I don't know if that's if that was the intent, but he looks like he's like this hulking psychopath. And then you get the Reggie smooth talking gangster, like brawler, like really cool, interesting character that you want to get into. But yeah, oh my god, is it annoying? It's like, and then one time it's like that's your Bane voice. Like it's right there. Like stop.
Yeah, well, you know what? It was like it wasn't the whole time, but there was a couple of specific scenes where I was like, that's purely Bane without the modulation.
Right. It was. It's very frustrating. I will say, as frustrating as that character was, there's a couple of scenes in the movie that there's some good. There's a couple of chuckles throughout the movie. It's got some humor. But annoying Bane Tom Hardy is responsible for the funniest line in the movie that had me cracking up, where he says, "Excuse me, can I have another egg? I've eaten this one." And I just lost it.
That was a good line.
I will say, I actually on the topic of his mumbling though. 20 minutes into the movie, 15 minutes into the movie, I put the subtitles on.
Really?
I just couldn't understand, and it wasn't just him. There was a lot of thick English accents that I couldn't get through, but it was him specifically that I couldn't understand a word he was saying at one point. I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, there was a couple of guys in the crew as well who were a little bit tough, because it was like that really, like, over-the-top, like, poor, like, Cockney type of accent.
Yeah, it was very rough.
Although... as funny as that line was, I think some of the funnier stuff overall was actually Taron Egerton in a pretty surprising role.
Yeah, didn't see that coming.
Mad Teddy Smith. I had no idea. I didn't even think I knew that he was in the movie prior to seeing it. And then seeing him play like an absolutely like stereotypical like flaming like gay guy was like... Yeah. I was very surprised by that. The scene where he goes to intimidate the club owner that Reggie tried to buy in with was hysterical, where he's just walking down the bar, tipping the glasses.
Yeah.
And then he just starts sweeping them off.
Oh, that was a... Yeah, like there's a bunch of scenes in there that just like, they're comical. They're fun to watch. There was another... I don't know why he's front and center of Ronald of the funny ones, but when he's talking to... Chaz Palminteri. What's his name in the movie? Do you remember?
Oh, I don't remember. Let's see. I have it here. Angelo.
When he's talking to Angelo and he's like, we're gonna get some drinks. Like, we're gonna get you some girls, and he's just like, I like boys. That's his Bane voice. That's where it came in. It was one of those lines.
Yeah.
And then, but it was just like the way that was delivered, And then, like, the super tension that's between them because it's the 1960s.
Yes.
Right? And you're talking to an Italian mob boss. and it's just silent. That scene for a while, I was like, oh, I'm uncomfortable. Someone's going to punch somebody.
And it wasn't even that line. Like, that line was good, but it was the explanation that followed.
Yeah.
Where he's basically like, oh, yeah, I was, told that, telling the truth, you got to be true to yourself and this and that. And, that's rather than lead you on. I mean, the Chaz Palminteri just like laughing it off, like,
yeah,
good for you, man. Like, you got flaws.
That was great. He's tremendous.
Yeah, I mean, he only had a couple of little scenes there, right?
Yeah, but when he's on screen though, he's so captivating.
Yeah,
he's a great actor.
Well, really, my biggest. I mean, I've seen A Bronx Tale, but for me, it's always him in Night at the Roxbury, Mr. Zadir.
Oh, absolutely. Did you grab my ass?
He is so fucking funny in that movie. Yeah, and he was good in The Usual Suspects, and he was good in Bronx Tale, obviously. But no, him as Zadir was fucking hysterical.
Yeah. Oh my god, I didn't even think about that. Good on him though, because that didn't come to mind, and for him to be able to just jump around and play roles like that and just own them and not get stuck in one of them, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he's great. Oh my god, I can't stop thinking about Mrs. Zadir. Get over here, you pet detective bastard! He was funny, but there is so good humor throughout, like peppered throughout the movie, which is good, especially in a movie like that where there's a lot of people getting killed and terrible things happening and bad people. They get a couple chuckles out of you, which is fun.
Oh yeah. Well, how about that big fight scene in the bar with the twins?
Oh my god, that was great.
Yeah, the whole setup, the way they executed it was fucking phenomenal. I mean, I loved the fake out by Ronnie where, oh, I thought we were going to fight, you come here bringing guns, this and that. I thought we were going to fight and this and that. And it's like, oh, wow, he totally just fucking finessed his way out the door. Like, is he seriously going to hang his brother out the jaw like that? That's fucked up.
Yeah, and he comes back with hammers.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Oh, God.
It's the way that he sneaks back in where you're like, yeah, this is a little bit more what I expected.
Yeah, and it's not even that. It's the way he sneaks back in. You're like, oh, yeah, this is going to get great. And then what does he say? He's like a schizophrenic gangster walks into a bar. Like, what he sets up a punchline.
Yeah, he sets it up like a joke, and they're like waiting for it, and then they just both start taking everyone out.
That was good. There was there's another fight scene in a bar later on between the two of them, and it's like really fun to see. Like, well, also
party.
Yeah, well, it's fun. It's fun to see that. It's also fun to see that he was able to create these two characters that you like. Yeah, they really felt like brothers.
Yeah,
like the way that they were brawling, and like the way that they still like have each other's backs because they're family. But like I will say it's a credit to him because the effects were terrible. They did a better job in The Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan of having the same person on screen twice than they did with this movie.
Really? I actually didn't notice. I mean, I was a little bit tired when I was watching the movie, so maybe I just my like kind of vision wasn't on it as much, but I didn't notice anything that was like immersion breaking for me.
There were definitely, it's the scenes where the two of them are both on screen at the same time, not interacting with each other, but just being themselves. Like, there'll be a guy sitting in a chair in the middle, and the two of them are on either side. Mm. It looks really bad if you focus on it.
Yeah, I guess I didn't.
It just doesn't, for some reason, it just doesn't work. But when he's interacting with himself, hats off. That was great. I don't know how you did that.
Which is surprising. You would have thought it would have been the other way around.
Exactly. But I think that's what I'm saying. Like, that's credit to him. I think because again, I really do think that he's a great actor aside from his mumbling roles. But yeah, the effects did not help. Yeah, that was all him.
Yeah. That fight scene was good because, like you said, is like kind of, you really felt like there was real stakes there, right? You kind of see the anger and anguish that, that close of a connection would really engender in that sort of situation where, like, they're not, like, they're kind of pulling their punches in the beginning, and then they're really letting it fly.
Yeah. And then, like, somebody wants to break it, or was Francis want to break it up, and they're like, you can't, like, you got to let them work it out, they're brothers or something like that. It's like, just the way that they did it, they handled it. It was really, it was really well done.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that a lot. Oh my God. What was I was about to bring something up, and I lost it. I'll bring it back later.
Okay.
Do you want to release the veil of spoilers so we can talk about a few more things, or do you have anything that you can cover before that?
No, I mean, we might as well get fully there. I mean, I guess we haven't really been dodging around it, but somehow we've managed to keep it relatively spoiler free here.
Yeah, so I would say, I mean, if you like Tom Hardy or if you like a gangster flick, check it out. It's a fun, it's a good movie. It's not like I said, it's not incredible. Like, it's not going to blow you away, but you'll enjoy it, I feel like.
Yeah.
That being said, let's get into it. The really powerful scene, because I want to stick on the two of them being Tom Hardy and Tom Hardy with glasses. When he stabs that guy to death and slips the knife in his pocket and whispers in his ear, "It's because I can't kill you."
Oh wow! I thought we were going to build up to that.
No.
A little bit more seriously than that.
No, that scene. That scene is just. I was like, oh, like he's just like full of rage as he stabs that guy to death, and it's just like, good God, man. Which,
I mean, let's not sugarcoat it. That guy deserved to die way earlier than he did.
Yeah, 100%.
That guy was the fucking worst.
I mean, he shot Lupin. That was Lupin, right?
Yes. Yes, they shot David Thewlis. He shot David Thewlis. He robbed them. He was just generally bad at his job.
There was that I love that too. It's like you see it coming, like from early on. They set the stage. Like, this guy is gonna screw something up royally. From the first time you meet him, he's like in trouble because he did something. And Tom Hardy,
he was skimming money off of their take.
Tom Hardy or Reggie plays it cool. You know, he's like making it like, oh, like, why are you bringing this to me right now? I'm on a date, blah blah blah. You gonna do this again? No. Punches him in the face. And it's just the way that he just, like, rocks him one in the face. You're like, he's gonna hit him. Like, it's gonna happen. Yeah. Like, he hits people. That's this guy's MO. We were told in the very opening lines of the movie. He hits people, and when the other guy says interesting, he has no idea what you're talking about. Those are the two things that you take with you through the whole movie.
And I do love that they do that running joke, starting with that scene.
Yeah.
Where he hands him a cigarette.
Yep.
And it's when he gets handed the cigarette, that's when you know he's definitely getting punched in this scene.
You're going to get rocked.
Because they do it like 2 or 3 more times.
I will not. It's funny, though. It's like, I guess it's because the other brother told him to do it. Like, he was, coming in there thinking his shit doesn't stink. Like, oh, like, you're not going to get... One, you didn't do it. you didn't kill him, right? So what the hell? And 2... You're not just going to get away with it. You know the other guy's going to be pissed. Like,
oh, yeah.
You got to see it coming. Just like that early scene. You know he's going to get punched in the face. We all know as the audience, he's not just going to walk out of this room just, like, unscathed.
Well, the thing about it is, had he actually killed him, he would have gotten away with it.
Probably.
Because Reggie would have known that Ronnie put the hit out on him, but he wouldn't have necessarily known who did it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That is true.
It was the guy fucking failing at the easiest task in the world that got him killed.
Which honestly, that was so great. When he fights back, I'm like, oh, he's not just gonna get shot right now. This is awesome.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And he's like cursing him out. I was like, just like you're not scared. You're really annoyed. Like that. That's what I got out of him in that scene.
Like, fuck, really?
Awesome.
Really? Are you serious?
You're gonna shoot me right now here? But yeah, that was that scene was gruesome.
I actually really liked David Thewlis in this.
Yeah. No, he's good. He's solid.
He's a good actor in general.
Mm-hmm.
You don't watch Fargo, right?
No.
He was really good in the newest season of Fargo. He played just the fucking worst guy. Like, just physically repulsing.
The worst.
Like, repulsive. Yeah, no. And, like, he's a douchebag and, like, just vile, but clever and entertaining as well. Yeah, no, I just like him in general as an actor, and he was good in this because he kind of, like, they let him, like, let out his sense of humor a little bit more. Where he's, like, he's drinking, and he's one of the guys, and, like, you know, he's not a tough guy, but he's one of the guys, and he's got a couple of clever lines, and...
Mm-hmm. Still a crook. He's a crook like the rest of them.
Oh, definitely.
It's great.
No, I mean, he kind of got what was coming to him like anyone would in this situation. It was just like... It was just a stupid situation. The fact that Ronnie didn't trust him, like, when he clearly wasn't trying to screw them over. He authored their destruction with his weird suspicions of him.
Mm-hmm.
Because no one was going to turn on them, except for the one dude who you tried to fucking kill.
Right. Ugh. So stupid. So stupid, Ronnie. You could have had it all.
Yeah, but I thought I kind of wanted us to play around with the whole build up to them to Reggie killing. And I don't, what was that fucking guy's name? Was that Albert?
Albert sounds right. Let's see if I can find it.
I think he's the top guy on IMDb there.
Albert Donahue?
That's got to be him, right?
I don't think it is. No.
Sure.
No. He's just one of the other... He's one of the other guys, like one of their other crew. Let me see if I can find this guy. It's going to drive me nuts. Because I was going to say, that doesn't really look like him.
I don't know. I thought that was him. Unless is it Jack? It was Jack, wasn't it? Jack McVitie?
Let's see. Yep, that was him.
Okay.
I remember his weird face.
Yeah. But, because that scene was really the crux of this whole movie, right? Is him fucking finally snapping and killing him. I guess we've kind of seen him moving towards being on the edge for a while, but that was... I wanted to get into that with kind of one of my notes, but I don't really have a good way to segue into that at the moment. We can kind of circle back around to it, I guess, but just the way he delivers that line after all of it, after just completely releasing that pent-up rage.
It's so good.
Why'd you do it? Because I can't do it.
Why'd you go and do that? That was rough. But now this is all... I forget if you could get the sequencing right for me. This is after he finds out about Francis, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because he was going like that, and this is the other one of my other notes that I have down here, which is like the heartbreaking part of this, is that he was going legit. Like, he was ready to leave it all behind.
Allegedly.
Well, it seems that way. Because he had the tickets, whatever. You know, you never know with him, because he also promised things and he doesn't deliver. But the idea being that makes it have a bigger impact. The fact that he was, like, choosing to leave this life of, like, power behind and run away with his wife and not look back. Like, that was, like, that's what you're supposed to get out of him having these 2 tickets on him when he's arrested. But that just kills. I was like, because you like him, you want. He's a bad guy, you know. He's not good by any means, but you like him because he's the character that you're rooting for this whole movie, even if he's not a good person.
Yeah, well, you see like those like flashes of decency, and that's why you kind of want to root for him. Plus, he's just, he's cool, right?
Yeah.
But you watch him beat people's faces in and have people killed and stuff like that, and it's hard to argue that he's a good guy, right? But you still kind of find yourself rooting for him because, I guess, for no other reason than that he's charming, right?
Yeah, that really is it.
So yeah, it's not even heartbreaking because of the whole thing with the tickets. It's because this girl gets swept up into this thing and she pays with her life, right?
Yeah, it's funny. She narrates the movie, and then at the point where she dies, like, she says that line, like, "Oh, you thought just because I was narrating it that I was going to get through this alive," or something like that.
It's funny because
I didn't feel that way.
That was a bit of a roller coaster for me because once I realized they were having her narrate, I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then things, as they're progressing, I was like, this movie is going to end with her, or like at some point, I was like, she's going to end up dying, isn't she? At some point, this has tragedy written all over it.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I wondered, is the narration cut out there? And then she says that line. I was like, okay, that's a little bit of like fourth wall breaking that I found interesting. I kind of like that.
It was cool, but I would say I think it would have been more fun for me if I didn't see it coming that she would be dying. Like I felt like early on I was like, oh, like I mean, from the minute that this girl gets into cahoots with this guy, you're like, oh, this is not. No matter where this story goes, she's dating gangster dude. It's not gonna go well. Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to end with death, but you know that story never ends happily for that character.
Right. No. It is that aside, like knowing aside, like that's going to happen. That was a cool thing to do.
Yeah. I found that interesting, and I had like the same. I had a note in here too as well, saying like about the narration, because I found the way they executed that and delivered that to you was interesting throughout the movie.
Yeah. Did the end of the movie drag for you?
Maybe just a little bit.
This is a serious question, because the way that I have this note written down is, did it drag at the end, or did I just really have to pee? Because I really had to pee, but I don't know if that was the reason.
It's funny, because towards the end I was getting a little bit tired, and I was watching it rather late. So I didn't have a quote unquote like dragging at like the very end. For me, it was actually before they broke up that I must have maybe been dozing across like a 3 or 4 minute like time frame, because I don't remember how or why he started to snap. Like, it didn't make sense to me. It seemed like it was incongruous with the character up until that point.
Wait, how or why? Who snapped?
Reggie.
At what point?
Before he started treating her like actual shit. Like, before he raped her, before she left.
Oh.
That was confusing to me, because I didn't think I ever lost consciousness and fell asleep fully. But I must have, because it didn't make sense to me when he changed over from being kind of relatively happy-go-lucky to being outright abusive.
Did he snap after Angelo told him that he's got to do something about his brother?
I guess maybe, but for whatever reason, that didn't make a direct correlation in my mind with the time I was watching it.
No, now that you're saying it, I can't pinpoint it either, and that's interesting.
It seems like that's why I was wondering if I actually fell asleep for a few minutes, because it feels like I missed a scene.
Right. That's the only thing that I could think of. I could be wrong about when that happened. I could see that being the reason, like he's maybe strung out because something's gonna happen to his brother because he's screwing things up and the mafia knows about it. Like, I don't know if that's what did it.
I mean, it definitely played into it, I think, but it didn't follow logically to me, and that's why I ended up being a little confused around that time.
I'm confused right now because I really don't remember either if that was the reason behind it. But I
remember
like there's a part where he shifts and it's like, oh, you're a dick now. Like it was like
a really aggressive shift, right? Because like he was neglectful for some time,
right?
But he went from neglectful to outright hostile and abusive to her, and I was like, did I miss a scene where like she tried to poison him or something? Like, what the fuck happened?
Is it after he gets arrested the second time?
What do you mean? Did he get arrested?
He winds up back in jail, and she's pissed at him.
No, it's like after that.
It's
like,
after,
not like right after. It's like several minutes. Like that's like 20 minutes after that or something like that. It was a pretty long movie.
All right. Yeah, so maybe it did drag. I'm not really sure.
That was the section, and part of the dragging was, I guess, because I was just getting tired, and part of it was I ended up getting confused. But after she kills herself, from that point on, which is what I would consider the ending of the movie, I didn't feel it dragged there, because that's where we get him really pushed to the edge. We get him going to the party. We get him killing whatever the fuck his name was, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
and all that, and then we get there.
That was
both
aggressive.
arrested. What?
I keep thinking about that scene. That was aggressive.
It sure was.
That murder. Whew.
Yeah, he killed him dead.
He stabbed him, and then he stabbed him about 18 more times, and then he like put the knife in his throat and like ripped his throat out. I was like, "What in the? He's dead. The guy's dead."
It's like that that Simpsons scene. Stop! He's already dead.
Yeah. Or that. What about that Family Guy scene where he's skinning the cat?
Oh yeah.
Cats have 9 lives. 1, 2, 3. Peter, stop doing what you're doing. Oh man, that's how I felt after like the 3rd stab.
Yeah, no, he just keeps going over and over. He really got all up in there.
Yeah. What else you got?
Actually, I was just thinking of something. Oh, well, I kind of had a note here about like relationships in this movie, and I guess we've kind of gotten into the complicated relationship between the brothers, but there was another relationship that I found interesting. Well, I didn't find it so interesting earlier in the movie, but where it gets to by the end, I thought, between Ronnie and, what was her name, Frances?
Yeah.
Because their relationship's largely kind of antagonistic throughout the course of the movie. I mean, the first time that he introduces her to him, it's just awkward, right? Because we don't have much on Ronnie yet.
Yep.
And he comes out and he's way over the top, and like he's just being right up out there about how gay he is.
Yeah.
Although he has a line about, right? Doesn't he have a line about like the fact that he's like pitching and not catching or something like that?
Yeah. Yes. I just like when that again, the humor, the way that he delivers some of these lines. He's just like, "I'm a homosexual,"
yes.
But in Bane voice, and I was like, "That's why it was funny to me."
But like it was funny because it was really important for him to let her know, that he was doing the giving, not hiding that he's gay, like not trying to equivocate. No, I am gay.
Yeah,
but I'm the man in the relationship,
right?
Like,
silly.
Like, okay, guy, like whatever.
Yeah, so you get that, so like they don't really know what to think of each other early on, and then you get clearly he doesn't like her, but I think it's more that she's taking his brother away from him.
Yes,
right.
Definitely.
And then there's the awesome wedding scene. Another funny scene where he goes up to her mom and he goes, "Fucking sing."
Oh yeah. Which is great because on the one hand it's like, oh, she doesn't want to deal with any Ronnie shit at her wedding.
But she has a little smirk on her face after
hates
that.
Her mom?
Yeah. Yeah. And she gives a little smile in that scene.
Yeah,
It's really funny. It's very subtle, but it makes that scene.
Yeah, no,
he has his finger in her face when he says it.
Fucking sing.
Oh my goodness. And then at the last time that they see each other, she gives him the kiss on the cheek.
Well, that's what made me bring this topic up to begin with, and this is another part of what ended up confusing me. It was like, you watched Better Call Saul, right?
I'm behind like a season, I think.
So you saw the first season?
Yeah.
It was like it felt to me, and this is why I was so confused, and I was wondering if I missed something. It was like the reveal when you find out that it's not Hamlin who's fucking over Jimmy, that it's actually Chuck, and that Hamlin was the guy who was on his side the whole time. Because at the end, he's like completely defending her and like treating her really nicely.
Yeah.
And Reggie's the one who's been treating her like shit, and I was like, wait, what? I was like,
I don't know. I didn't feel like it was more like that he was like defending her, more like he'll do it now because he's basically getting what he wants. She's leaving. She's gone. She's out of the picture.
But it like he seemed like genuine with her and like even like tender.
Yeah, I think it was I guess from all like the craziness that like he's like such a wild card. I guess like that's one of the things that he doesn't stand for is hurting women.
Yeah, I guess that might have been really what it was. Is like that's what did it for him. Was like, I know how fucked up I am, but I wouldn't cross that line.
Right.
So that's what really made the whole thing stick with me. Was how he was with her at the end and how she was with him. Considering they've had basically no positive interactions throughout the course of the whole movie. Like, that's a part of the biggest reasons why the two of them fight earlier, right? Was Ronnie called her something. I don't remember what he called her, but called her something fucked up, right?
Yeah.
Or said something really fucked up to her. And that's what gets Reggie to really snap and beat the shit out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And then, he says, you'll apologize to Francis.
And you'll apologize to Francis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there are some interesting relationships throughout the movie.
Yeah, and I mean...
I didn't really think about that before, about Ronnie and Francis. That's...
Yeah, it was really that final scene that made me like go back and reevaluate the whole thing, because I just found it curious how antagonistic they were towards the whole thing, and to watch that like actual vulnerable moment between the two of them for whatever reason struck a real chord with me.
Yeah. That's yeah. It was a cool scene. I didn't place why. It was a little. It was interesting. There's also the scenes where she's in the house and Ronnie and his mom are in the kitchen and like they're just like talking bad about her and she's like right there.
Yeah.
It's like
she doesn't even know how to make a proper cup of tea.
Yeah. Poor girl. Again, it was another Bane line.
Yeah.
Poor girl.
Actually, and like I was confused by that too, because like, why was she hanging out with their mother with Ronnie and not Reggie?
Yeah, well, they were living there, weren't they?
But I guess it was the point that Ronnie was there with her and Reggie wasn't.
Oh, yeah. Who knows?
Like it just seemed odd to me,
I did like the scene where after Ronnie kills that, I guess the head of one of those other gangs.
That was a good scene.
And yeah, that was a great scene. But the scene in the house after is what's better.
Oh yeah.
When he's just sitting there with his tray, drinking his tea and eating his cake, and like the whole
could you bring me some of the pie?
Yeah, like he's fine because he's crazy.
Yes.
His lover is there and like trying to protect him in a way. His mom has no idea what's going on, and his brother is playing it so cool so that the mom doesn't find out, but is so like you can see how angry he is, like with his body movement.
And he's like whisper yelling at him every time the mother turns around.
It's great. It's awesome.
Like, are you fucking serious? Yeah. You fucking do that shit.
And he's like, "Where's the gun?" And he pulls the gun out and he like grabs it and he puts it back. And he's like, "Not in front of them."
Yeah.
He's so mad. It's awesome.
Like there had to have been some laughter shooting that scene, right?
Yeah. Oh, that had to be interesting to shoot.
Yeah.
Like, how do you even do that? I guess you have somebody sit there so that you have someone to act against.
Yeah, because otherwise he's just yelling at a chair.
Yeah, and then you like recut it. So that's great. But that's another fun scene.
Also, like, after a certain point in the movie, and they don't even say anything about it, but like, I guess Ronnie is kind of like Wallace from Scott Pilgrim, where he just kind of has a stable of gay guys that follow him around.
Yeah.
Because didn't it seem like that other guy was Mad Teddy's boyfriend, while Mad Teddy was Ronnie's boyfriend, and like they kind of had this like trailing relationship going on?
It was very strange.
Or maybe like throwback to Parks and Rec, like first, second season, where April is dating that one guy who's dating that one guy. And like April's like, this is my boyfriend, whatever. And that's his boyfriend, whatever.
Oh my god. That's funny. Do you have any other topics?
No, I don't think so, actually.
I'll say one thing in closing. This movie, like I said earlier on, prefaced this with like the movie's not like it's not great. It's not like it doesn't blow you away. It's
worth the watch though.
It's a good and an okay movie, and that's okay. Like it's good to have movies like that. I feel like that's a good. I mean, hey, if I'm like sitting on the couch and I'm bored, I'm not gonna turn this off. You know, I'll throw that on. Oh, I know that this is a decent investment. I'll throw that on.
Well, that's like kind of how that went for me. Because I was just curious about the movie, even though I heard relatively mixed things. And I've had this movie sitting on my DVR for like 8 months.
Yeah.
And I just finally got in the mood to like sit down and watch it.
Yeah, it's funny. A movie like that has its place.
Yeah.
I approve.
And it's like a relatively modest budget movie. Like it ended up making a profit. Like, I think.
Let's see if we could find out how it did.
It was it was a foreign movie technically, right? So.
Yeah. I believe so. Lawless. That was another one that he was in with a weird voice.
I watched approximately 20 minutes of that movie in the middle. I saw like the biggest scene, I imagine. I don't want to get into that here. I was surprised by that scene.
Oh, good lord. Box office budget, $30 million.
Oh, it made $42 million though.
And then gross was... Oh. Did it make that much?
Yeah, it took me a while to figure it out, but gross worldwide is $42 million.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I lost some money on that one when I saw the $1 million.
Yeah, I was confused by that too, because like I looked at that, it was like, oh, it made $86 million. Nope, that says 86,000.
I see. Yeah. All right. Yeah, cool. Good for them. All right, cool. Well, that's it for this week's Flix in the Six. Check out Spinchoon.com each week for new content. We missed a couple weeks. It's going to happen. We're sorry, but we're back. Was it 1 week? Week and a half? Well, I'll probably put this one up Monday to get back on track.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure if you wanted to do that tomorrow, but I'm cool with Monday.
Yeah, let's do it Monday, and then that or today if you're listening.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is weird. This is going to come out weird.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Just roll with it.
We should have probably discussed this right after we turned it off.
I like it. You got to see how the sausage is made. That's it. All right. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, cheers.